Hello. George Stephenson was born in Northumberland. His father worked on colliery pumping engines as a fireman. George also began his working life at a colliery, initially as a brakesman on winding engines. From his wages, he managed to pay for night classes to master the 3 R's. He proved adept with machinery, carrying out maintenance and repairs where necessary. In 1814, he designed a locomotive for Killingworth Collieries in North Tyneside called Blucher, after the Prussian general, then playing a decisive role in the war against Napoleon. It's interesting to speculate whether Stephenson had witnessed Richard Trevithick's demonstration of a steam locomotive on Tyneside a few years earlier. He would certainly have been familiar with Matthew Murray's Willington, which ran on flanged wheels, an innovation Stephenson adopted at Killingworth. He went on to build several more locomotives for the Killingworth Collieries, which led to commissions elsewhere in the northeast of England, including an 8-mile railway for Hetton Colliery in Sunderland. In 1821, an Act of Parliament was passed authorising a 25-mile railway in County Durham from Stockton-on-Tees to Darlington, linking several collieries. Stephenson was employed to survey the route, which he did working with his 18-year-old son Robert, setting up Robert Stephenson and Company, with Robert taking on the role of managing director. The line opened in 1825. On its maiden journey, Stephenson's engine, originally called Active but renamed Locomotion, reached a speed of 24 miles an hour, hauling coal and flour, and with a passenger car, the first purpose-built railway passenger car full of local dignitaries. In an age when life was regulated by the pace of a horse, 24 miles an hour must have seemed a phenomenal speed. Locomotion is now housed at Darlington Railway Museum. Beamish Museum near Stanley, County Durham, has a working replica. The railway reduced the cost of transporting coal from 18 shillings per tonne to 8 shillings and sixpence. The Stephensons used a gauge, the distance between the inside edges of the rails, of 4 feet 8.5 inches, based on the wheel spacing of a typical farm wagon, itself based on the width of the shafts, so essentially the width of 2 horses' hind quarters. That became the standard gauge adopted by most of the world's railways. Further commissions followed, including engineering the Liverpool and Manchester Railway, which faced opposition from coach operators and from investors in the Bridgewater Canal, the viability of which was seriously threatened by the proposed railway. Building the line proved difficult. The 31-mile route crossed Chat Moss, an unstable peat bog, required a viaduct across the Sankey Valley, a 2-mile cutting at Olive Mount, and a 1.25-mile tunnel to avoid houses at Edge Hill. While engaged on the project, George Stephenson also acted as consultant on the Bolton and Lee Railway, a freight line that opened in 1828. In 1829, the Stephensons entered a competition held by the Liverpool and Manchester Railway Company for a contract to supply the line with locomotives, and won with their engine Rocket. When it opened in 1830, the line from Crown Street Station in Liverpool to Water Street Station, Manchester, was the first all-steam passenger railway. Rocket was soon followed by Hope, Diligence, Black Diamond, Northumbrian and other locomotives. The Duke of Wellington was among the celebrities who came to the official opening of the line. George and Robert Stephenson both drove locomotives in a ceremonial parade. Passengers had been told to stay aboard, but during a fuel and water stop at Parkside, one of the original stations on the line, several stepped down. Among them, looking for an opportunity to shake hands with Wellington, was Member of Parliament William Huskisson, who managed to get himself run over and fatally injured by a Rocket approaching on the other track from the opposite direction. Driving Rocket at that fateful opening event was Joseph Locke, then assistant engineer working with the Stephensons, who would go on to make a name for himself as a railway pioneer. The success of the Liverpool to Manchester Railway made the Stephensons famous. The age of the railway was well and truly underway. Arguably the most notable of the talented civil engineers taking advantage of the opportunities on offer was Isambard Kingdom Brunel, and he will be my subject next time. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons and click on the notification bell to be informed when the next video is available, or you can subscribe by clicking on the rose window over my shoulder.